Hey guys, and in today's video, I'll explain the phases of each character in Sprunki. Just to clarify, some characters have more than 3 phases, but I'll only consider the ones that make sense with the official lore. Some phases can fix certain issues for the character, but worsen others, which might break the canon. That's why some characters only have 2 phases, while others have 4. If that makes sense, let's start with the main character, or maybe not the main one, but the primary character in this game. We'll begin with Orin, a boy with antennas and headphones. His color is orange. In Phase 2, Mr. Black's curse starts to take effect. Interestingly, Orin's headphones work with positive energy, but when the curse began, they absorbed all the positive energy and left only negative energy. This caused the headphones to create very loud music, leading to internal bleeding. His eyes started bleeding, and in his confused state, he became a perfect target for Simon, who opened his chest and ate most of his organs. Next is Ratty in Phase 1, where he's red. One of his traits is that he doesn't get along with anyone. You could say he's the town bully, bothering everyone around. His insults are pretty mild though. Dummy is about the worst he gets, so he's a bully but not super aggressive. When the curse hit, he tried to defend himself, as he was good at fighting, but Wenda set a trap for him using a rope to hang him. Simon then appeared to eat the rest of his body. In his third phase, the spikes or studs on his head are torn out and put into his eyes and mouth by Wenda as a kind of mockery, since Ratty used to annoy Wenda a lot. Clucker is a character with a symbol and a metallic look. The unique thing about Clucker is that the stick sticking out of his head connects to his jaw, so when he opens and closes his mouth, the symbol moves, making noise. In Phase 2, when Mr. Black's curse starts, Grey Clug is attacked by Wenda, who uses the symbol to strike him. In Phase 3, Wenda tightens the symbol, bending it into a U-shape, and hits the stick attached to his head, which connects to his jaw. This hard hit dislocates his jaw, making his mouth look very distorted. In Phase 4, Mr. Black revives him as a servant, but the pain remains. When he makes a sound in this phase, it's louder and sharper than before, showing all the suffering he's experiencing. Funbot, as his name suggests, is a robot powered by positive energy, which is usually abundant in Sprunki. However, in Phase 2, he's seriously affected because Mr. Black's curse drains all positive energy, leaving only negative energy. Funbot can't function without positive energy, so he tries to adapt, changing from cheerful to neutral. Phase 3 is interesting because Funbot's system tries to absorb negative energy, making him function incorrectly and slightly warping his appearance. For example, his mouth starts to show signs of the energy shift. By Phase 4, his system keeps trying to process the negative energy but can't work correctly, leading to even more issues in his operation. In Funbot Final Stage, his system shuts down completely, leaving only an empty shell. Veneria, in her first phase, is a girl who is half human, half nature. Her hair is made of real grass, which depends on positive energy, almost like water is essential for life. This is why her hair is vibrant green, even with flowers, showing her positivity. In Phase 2, Mr. Black's curse begins, and all the positive energy disappears, replaced by negative energy. Her grass hair withers, and the negative energy in her hair starts consuming even more negative energy. This makes her hair act aggressively toward her, growing backward with such force that it pierces her eyes with its tips. In Phase 3, Veneria's lifeless body is overtaken by her grass hair, which gains its own consciousness and gradually transforms her entire body into grass. Her body starts to grow wildly, tearing her head apart, and the grass becomes the dominant form, turning her skull into something like a shell where the grass can retreat. In his first phase, Grey is a shy, quiet guy who has trouble communicating. However, he tries hard to be around his friends, with Wenda as his best friend who has helped him a lot. His voice is very soft, so he doesn't stand out much, remaining silent and discreet. In Grey's second phase, when Mr. Black's curse takes over, Wenda corners him. But because they're best friends, a small part of Wenda's real self lets him escape, giving him a few seconds to run away and hide with Heaven. In Phase 3, Grey, Funbot, and Mr. Fun Computer come up with a plan to capture Mr. Black, but things go terribly wrong when Simon attacks Grey, ripping off a large part of his head's skin, leaving Grey deeply traumatized. Brud in his first phase is a clumsy, easily distracted boy with brown coloring who wears a bucket on his head because he thinks it looks cool. It's rumored his brain is very small. In Phase 2, he's so distracted he doesn't even realize he's under attack until Simon starts beating him. He doesn't understand he's in serious trouble until half his head is eaten. Interestingly, he survives because his brain is so small, like a peanut, making him one of the few survivors. Garold, in his first phase, is a cool guy wearing very strong golden armor with a visor that lights up and makes sounds. In Phase 2, Derpal attacks him repeatedly with demonic strength, but his armor is resilient enough to save him from death. However, the impact causes internal bleeding and bruises in Garold's body, and Derpal only manages to crack the visor's right eye. In Phase 3, although Garold's armor is tough, it's not indestructible. Derpal, unable to do further damage, calls for help from Simon and Wenda to break it. Simon bites off Garold's helmet, and Wenda pierces his abdomen with a knife, spilling his organs. Derpal finishes him off with a fatal beating. In Phase 4, Garold is dead. At this point, Garold's armor system starts to malfunction from all the impacts, and Mr. Black's curse causes the armor circuits to merge with his corpse, turning his body and armor into a single entity. His eyes begin to glow a bright red. Owax, in his first phase, is a very anxious guy, like he's had way too many energy drinks. He's green with spiky hair and has one eye larger than the other. In his second phase, Simon tears off the skin from his face and body, but despite the pain, he somehow survives. His voice becomes high-pitched, reflecting the intense pain he's experiencing. In Phase 3, weakened and trying to hide, he leaves a clear blood trail, making it easy for Wenda to find him. She ambushes him, gouging out his eyes and leaving him blind. Simon finishes him off, eating the exposed flesh and leaving only his skeleton. Sky, in her first phase, is a light blue bear who harmonizes the group's song and is loved by everyone as the youngest member. In Phase 2, Wenda kills her by piercing her body with multiple tubes, giving her the most gruesome death, but thankfully, it's quick. Mr. Sun, in his first phase, is a nature-based creature powered by positive energy, although he can adapt to other energy types. He plays an essential role in group songs because of his standout sound. In his second phase, when negative energy starts to spread, nature beings begin mutating from the curse of Mr. Black. Mr. Sun is affected, growing a real eye and becoming a very useful servant for Mr. Black. In his third phase, Mr. Sun's body darkens, and Mr. Sun's third phase sees his body darkening even more, with his eye becoming increasingly lifelike, giving him excellent vision, which makes him especially valuable to Mr. Black. Derpal, in his first phase, is a purple dragon with 2 large horns and fins on his sides. In Phase 2, under Mr. Black's curse, Derpal appearance seems normal, but his mouth grows unnaturally large and his pupils are heavily dilated to help him watch his prey better. He becomes extremely aggressive and expressionless. In his third phase, the negative energy flows through him even more strongly, mutating him further into a massive creature with a wide grin that can devour bodies whole. With immense strength and speed, he becomes a formidable threat. In his fourth phase, Derpal appearance doesn't change much, but he loses the last bit of sanity he had left, becoming an unhinged pursuer with an even larger mouth. Well, at this I have everything. I know that I did not tell about the other characters, but I will definitely do it in the next series. Do not forget to write your theories in the comments.